What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and today we got the update notification, so I'm going to be talking about the upcoming refines and remixes, and we also got a survey which you could do, and this is really good opportunity to express your grievances and the things you would like more in the game. So this was done many years ago when Aether Raids was not even a game mode, I believe. So this is the second survey, so you can just go to your announcement board and just scroll down, and then you're going to be having the survey and you could just participate in it. It has got a lot of questions and it is going to be taking a bit of time, but I think it's definitely worth it if you have been playing this game for such a long time. So now we have the update notification, and we did know about a lot of the things from the FEH channel, and we have got our FEH OC free-to-play goddess Ash getting a remix to her opening retainer plus. So she was kind of unique when she came out because of her warping, but now we have got a lot of two-space warping, so she is not really all that unique anymore. So she still has that, but now she has got the John Drive effect, where she gives herself and the allies in 3 spaces the +5 to all of these stats, the dull all effect, which is amazing, and it's kind of similar to Seteth, and she also lets you have the 7 HP healing in the combat per hit, and she also gets that herself, and she also gets 50% damage reduction piercing for herself in the combat. She doesn't really give that to any of the other allies, so getting that for herself means that you don't really need to run any kind of piercing slot B skill or fierce beast, and she could easily go the route of running sturdy beast and being bulky. And she also has a remix skill in Spiked Wall. So this is not all that old of a skill. It is from Ninja Diamant, and this is going to be having the Bulwark effect. And now because she has got the dull lull effect in her slot C, she doesn't really need the lull skill that she comes with, and this also gives you the true damage based on her defense and gives you the 7 flat damage reduction. So it's a pretty good skill if you cannot really have high enough cooldown for Lagoose Friend, and that is going to be the case with her, as you're ideally going to be wanting to run Sturdy Beast on her. So Spiked Wall is perfect, and she already has the full tempo effect in her transformation, so the null guard doesn't really mean much, and a remix is not really all that insane. And honestly, I never really expect too much out of the free-to-play free OC remixes and refines, because they are never really too amazing. Like Regan didn't really get the best refine and remix, Fjorm didn't get it, Air didn't get it, Peony is good, but she was really good to begin with. So I'm hoping that Ash can break that and she gets a really good refine. I don't know why, I feel like she's gonna be getting some kind of brave effect, because her newer version has that as a conditional effect, and Spiked Wall is amazing with the brave hits, and she also has the in-combat healing per hit, so that would make sense with brave attacks. So I really hope she gets that, because brave effect is one of the best effects in the game that has been in the game since first year, and it has aged really well. You still see Bridal Katria being amazing with Linring, and I really hope that she can get the brave effect. I would just love to have that in my free-to-play guides, honestly. She did a lot in that Nidhogre and Larather free-to-play guide with Rune that I did. So looking forward to her refine. Spiked Wall is definitely good for the fodder. And then we have got the remix to Legendary Xander. So he jumped the queue and he got a remix and refine before Legendary Sita, Legendary Nana, Elamine, Medius. So a lot of units, and I guess that makes sense because Faye the Owl is down bad for him, and that's why he skipped the line. So unfortunately, he came into the game at a time where we had a lot of Axe Cavalry and Cavalry units in general that could give him competition, and he didn't really stand out. So now he has got his remix to his slot B scale Chivalry 2, and this has got Canto remaining +1 and minimum Canto 2. So it is good for the flexibility. And then he has got the 50% pierceable damage reduction in the combat and also against the AoE specials. And he also inflicts -5 attack speed and defense debuff on the foe, and he gets the true damage and flat damage reduction based on 25% of his attack. And I say 25 because most of the time the foe is going to be above half HP. If they're not, you only get 15% of that. So it is a good amount of true damage and flat damage reduction that he needs. And it does work well with Excel. So he is going to be quite bulky when he's going to be initiating combat. And then he gets the special jump -3 or preempt pulse -3 before his first attack. And this is like a better momentum because it does count the spaces moved, but if the foe is at or above 75% HP, then it just gives you the -3 preempt pulse. So it is really strong for triggering, no quarter or Ignis. And we do have a new special coming for the cavalry units in Hey Slice with Valentine Dimitri. It's likely going to be having unpierceable damage reduction. So that is going to be the ideal special for him, I think, because he's probably going to be getting some kind of piercing in his Refine. So that special, which gives you the speed-based damage most likely, and that gives you unpierceable damage reduction, and I'm guessing would be nice for him. So this remix is good, but like I said, Legendary Xander needs a lot of help and he needs a lot of offensive tools. And this is also going to be helping him trigger Gale Force really easily because the special jump is going to be applying to that. So it is good with the special charges status that he's able to give to himself. And he also has the null follow-up. So I hope he can get the +1 movement because the cavalry units do need some extra movement to really threaten the enemy. We have got Emblem Sigurd with Gallop status. That is the absolute ceiling. So you definitely need a lot of things, especially when you're trying to be this kind of bulky offensive cavalier like Legendary Xander is trying to be. So hope it is going to be a good refine. And he also has attack speed excel as his remix slotty skill. So this is the best mixed phase slotty skill that you could run. It does give you a lot of flat damage reduction. It does go well with the cavalry movement, so it is going to be making him bulky. So that is Legendary Xander's remix and refine. And then we have got the refine for young Innes. Back in those days, he was the Marnie because he was the best readable unit as he could pierce the damage reduction with his weapon, and he had a -1 special cooldown weapon while being really powerful for piercing the damage reduction of Brave Ike in those days. So he was a unit that a lot of people did plus and merge. Of course, now that kind of playstyle doesn't really work all that well. So I'm hoping that he can get, preempt pulse and some kind of follow-up pulse so that he can hit hard and still pierce the damage reduction. And he would need some kind of maybe sweep effect because original Innes does have that in his refine. Maybe some kind of tome sweep or physical sweep would work. And I hope that they can bump up the true damage that he has got in his weapon because you really need that, as piercing doesn't mean that you're going to be killing tanks. They have a lot of flat damage reduction and unpierceable damage reduction. So you need good damage output with the true damage. So that would be helpful for him. So he does have potential if they fully capitalize on his playstyle. And then we have got a refine to Knoll, and he is going to be getting Dark Monograph as his preferred weapon. So unfortunately, he didn't come with a preferred weapon, and I think that he's probably going to be having like a dull all effect, and then he's going to be getting guaranteed follow-up attack and then resistance based effect. So I could maybe expect that. Hopefully it could also help him ploy a bit better. His resistance is not the highest, but still, he could try and make use of it at max investment. And I think that he's probably going to be debuffing the enemy for some kind of status effect. And then we have got the refine for Harmonic Tiki here. So she is Halloween Tiki with Ninian, and she is one of the earlier Harmonic units. And she's in an archetype which is so hard to work out as a fast dragon because you're not going to be able to function like a bulky dragon like Halloween Female Grima, for example. And offensively, there is a limit to what you can do as a dragon. You do not have access to Gale Force and a lot of other skills. And being a flying dragon also locks you out of a lot of skills. So I hope she can get an offensive refine. It would be a breath of fresh air. Lilith got a pretty good weapon refine being a flying dragon, so Tiki is going to be needing some of that, and I hope that she can get Treachery in her weapon for boosting up the damage output, and she's likely going to be getting visible buffs to her attack and speed to go along with her Slossy skill, which is incredibly outdated, but still she could provide some support, and she could give a status effect to herself and her allies, and she could get the aerial maneuvers warping because dragons, flying dragons do not have access to it, and she does come with aerobatics, but still that kind of warping is going to be helpful to her, so it's certainly hard. And then we've got Annand, and a lot of people did get her as their pity breakers. I personally have her at +9 merge, and she is likely going to be getting a refine similar to Dihorba with the Crux effect. Maybe the Crux effect is going to be doing something else, like it is going to be working in 3 rows and 3 columns, but it is maybe going to be giving a different supportive effect because she is a 5-star unit, and she is going to be getting aerial longsword. Usually longsword have got effective damage against cavaliers, but I'm not sure if she's going to be getting that. If she gets distant counter in her weapon, that would be incredibly funny. And she has been the bridge fodder for guard bearing 3 basically, but even the tier 4 version of it isn't really all that good. And then finally we have got a refine for Asbel. He was kind of dead on arrival back when he came out because we got a lot of green mages that just did the job better offensively, like Thrasier, Legendary Celica, and even Lewin at that time got a pretty nice weapon refine for an old unit, and his refine was better than Gref Caliber. So Asbel is going to be needing a lot of updated effects to do the job. Maybe he could have like an updated weapon similar to Sed with that same game plan, and he did study magic under him, so he could just have incredible amount of speed. And next month we're going to be getting these refines, so Fallen Orson is going to be getting one. He didn't have the best effects, and I do have a viewer who's a longtime viewer who is a big fan of Orson, so he's going to be happy. And then Ninja Levitain or Ninja Lin are probably going to be getting refined, either one of them. So I think that Levitain is going to be getting that first. And next month it is also going to be the refine and remix time for Legendary Sida and Elamine. So maybe Elamine could just get better, as she did have a really big downfall, and Sida needs a lot of help right now. And we also have some Divine Codes units. So we have got Valentine Leo, and he mainly provides Remote Mirror, which is not the greatest skill. Maybe if you have some damage reflection, then it could help, but usually the Slime Mirror or Crystalline Water or even Flared Mirror is gonna be a skill that you're gonna be preferring over this. So mainly he's gonna be there for attack, defense, fort race 3, so that could be the bridge fodder. And then we've got Nime, so she mainly gives you the solo skill and the menace skill, and the Vulture Tome, which is going to be useful on Laurent and Festival Leo, but this is a really outdated weapon, so you really shouldn't bother. And solo skills, have sucked, and they are especially really bad now with the Lin Ring. Just does not have good synergy, and it inherently doesn't work with this kind of game where you start near your allies as your map begins. So you're mainly going to be just using her for the menace skill, maybe for some kind of budget build. Then we've got Lara's combat manual. A lot of people did get her in the holoforms, and now she has got Jehana Dagger. So if you're trying to plus and merge her, this is going to be helping, because trying to get these demoted units show up in your summoning is really hard. And then we also have Festival Takumi. His weapon is decent, it can be helpful, but his fodder isn't really all that much. He does have Rouse attack speed, and maybe defense res snag is going to be helpful when we get the detect version of it. And Sethith is an absolute insane unit. I would say that he has gotten the best free-to-play weapon refine ever, and he is one of the best support units in the game. Even at a higher competitive level, Sethith is really helpful with his flat damage reduction support. He also gives you the dull effect and a lot of stats, and being a flying unit, he can just run so many supportive skills. It's incredible. So if you're plus and merging him, then it is going to be helpful. Otherwise, he is not really going to be giving you much of a fodder. And then we have got Oboro. I've only ever used her for rally defense in the rally traps in Aether Raids defense, but nowadays units just come with the visible buffs like Freyr, Attuned Hector, and she really doesn't have any fodder. Merrick also doesn't. Growing Wind could be useful as an AoE special, but nowadays you have a lot of anti-AoE measures with the Stone Terrain, the pre-combat healing, and Divine Nectar, so usually it is better to have the Blazing AoE specials that have a higher multiplier. Back in the old days, for that time, the units that had a lot of true damage on their AoE specials would run Growing Wind so that you could cover more area, but now the Blazing specials are just better, and the Divine codes are really lackluster for this month, unfortunately. And then we have some other changes to the Aether Raids. Dark Shrine is going to be upgradable to level 13, and Escape Ladder is going to be upgradable to level 8. So you've got 8 tries, and that is going to be helping some people who maybe have a bad day, they're on a tilt and they just use a lot of ladders. And this is going to be giving you as many matches as the matches you're going to be doing in an entire season. So you're going to be doing 8 battles with the double Ether, and this is going to be giving you 8 tries, and it is certainly going to be an overkill in the times when we have got tools like Emblem Sigurd, Emblem Lin, Emblem Lin Ring, and then Safety Fence level 2. There's just so many player face tools, and it's not going to be used, fully for many of the competitive players, but I can understand that if you're not chasing after the meta units, and if you do not have a lot of the good units in your barracks, and if you do not have a lot of good mythics, then it could definitely be hard for you, and certain maps are gonna be impossible for you if you're facing plus +10 units that are really optimized, and if you lack the just resources for the team building. And I'm always of the mindset that more accessibility for people is never bad in a game, because people have jobs, they have real life, they have other things, kids and everything. So I feel like games are so wonderful that everyone should be experiencing them. And it is going to be another buff to Aether Raids offense. Then Aether Resort is going to be having 2 new songs, Dreaming of Home from Path of Radiance and Song of Peace from Shadows of Valentia. Both are amazing songs. And then favorite level is going to be increased to 5,200, and we're going to be having Vida and Winter Ecthenir and New Year Innis being available in the Grail shop. So a lot of people are going to be plus and merging, especially Vida and Ecthenir, as they do have the preferred weapons. So you could plus and merge them this month itself if you have the Grails. And then they're going to be having the Yggdrasil and Asgarder backgrounds for your favorite heroes in your profile card. So that is going to be available, and Asgard is going to be added to your home base, and that is going to be something you could do in your profile card. And they're going to be doing 2 adjustments. So apparently there was a glitch with the duo skill and the Emblem Lin Ring. I did not even know that. And there was another bug that prevented the reinforcements from acting in the auto battle. So again, that was also something I didn't really have an idea, but these were probably really rare cases, but they're addressing it. No spot the difference change game this time, and they're going to be having some changes to Binding Worlds, and now you're going to be having access to 2 pharma units if you have 2 otherworldly bond items. And previously you could only recruit 1 pharma ally, and now they're going to be giving you a free otherworldly bond as a login bonus. So it is incredible for the value as a free-to-play gift. And if you're a paying player, then I guess you could try and purchase 2 otherworldly bonds in the future, most likely. And now we're going to be having 3 skills appearing for the holoforms and Chamber 25. So it is hopefully going to be helping a bit for getting the skills that we want on these pharma units. And it is not going to be applying to the Path of Radiance holoforms that is going on right now. It is going to be applied from the Radiant Dawn holoform that is going to be starting near the end of this month. And then Arena is going to be having 3 tactical retreats along with Arena Assault. And I wish that they gave maybe like more items, like newer items that you could use. And I would love that you could have 7 items that you could use in these 7 matches, because it would be really fun, and that's something that they could expand upon. And the free summon ticket that you get from Arena is going to be getting updated with the pool changes, so you could just have the updated units that you could try and summon, and they're also going to be adding 5 new maps, which are not the greatest. So that is all of the things that we're going to be getting in the update this month. So let me know what you think about the new refines, and you can click the link on Instagram right now to check out my breakdown of the FEH channel that we got. And make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Nime's inedible weapon. So with that said, let's see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.